No.
Okay. My mic is working?
Yes.
Is the camera working?
It is now.
Oh, good. Hi, guys. I hope everybody's having a great Saturday. Ours is struggling to be sunny. It was very cloudy and gray this morning, but the sun has managed to peek out in a few places. So I think we're in for a rather nice afternoon. Renee is behind the camera and on the mic, and it's actually functioning today.
Everything's working.
Everything's working. It's always a good thing. Today we're going to be painting Summertime Teacup. I love this piece. My good buddy Deb got herself a laser this winter and started developing some SVG files, and she hinted that it would be fun to make me some surfaces, so I sent her off some line drawings and she created this for me. They're just fantastic. I absolutely love it, and they come out so freaking cute. So I'm waiting for another shipment of these teacups to come in so that we can get more kits out. They've been going steadily, but if you don't want to wait for them to pop up on my website, hop on over to paintingwithdeb.com and you can order them from her and she'll ship them directly to you. She's got some really great surfaces, so have a peek around her website because there's just some awesome designs coming out of her. She has been so busy and so creative. So go and check it out because she's got some really awesome Halloween designs. Just saying, they're amazing. So go and have a look at paintingwithdeb.com. You're going to love what you see. I am waiting on a few things this week. It's been one of those weeks we're waiting on envelopes so that we can ship stuff. There are backlogs everywhere, it seems. My usual suppliers for things like envelopes and cardstock and postage, like our, what do you call those things? Postcards that we put the little stencils on. All of that stuff is either back ordered, shipment delays. There's just been an awful week for that. So we are scrambling, trying to get packing material and envelopes and whatnot because they're just not available. So things are a little slow getting out of here this week, much to my displeasure. I don't like it when things are backed up. So we are packing things as quickly as we can and getting envelopes when we can and where we can because they just don't seem to be available in the places we're used to getting them. So there's been that. We didn't have a shout out this week, so I guess I kind of did that with Deb. Kind of did. But so don't have a shout out. Happy mail. I did get quite a bit of happy mail this week. Quite a bit. I got an amazing shipment from Southern Ridge Trading this week. So I got some really cool signs. We are going to have the little critters for the tags. We are going to have those individual. I don't think we've got them up on the site yet, but we will have the individual heads. So the dog heads, the cats, everything. But I got a really cool surface in this week. They're flipping awesome. I got to show you. And as always happens with me, I get a new surface and then I get all excited. And then next thing you know, I've designed something to go on it. So we got these really great little signboards in. And I got some bigger animal heads, foxes, raccoons, and whatnot. I got those in. So I was really excited about that. But then I saw this and I went, I could do something with the other critters. So I dug out my bumblebees and I got 200 more little bumblebees. And then I kind of got carried away and this is what I came up with. So I think it's really cute. It was a lot of fun to paint. And it says, come in and be welcome.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
It does not.
It does.
No.
Symbolism, my boy. Symbolism.
You can't have that.
Yes.
No.
Come in
and welcome.
Be welcome.
And welcome.
Be welcome.
There's a pause.
Yes, there is a pause. And be welcome.
You
are no fun. You are no fun. So that's what I've been playing with this week. And we did get these surfaces up on the website and we have them paired up with dragonflies and we have them paired up with bumblebees. So I'm going to be working on the dragonfly one this week because I completed the design and now I can't wait to paint it. And I haven't had a great chance to sit down and paint for like 2 weeks. I've been too busy. So now that I have, I kind of just, went a little nuts.
Kinda.
Kinda. But then again, that's the
Just
norm.
went?
Just went. Okay, so what are you trying to say?
Just went? Like just now.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, right.
you can't drive me crazy. I'm close enough to walk. So we're going to be painting.
Renee, just roll with it. I'll try.
Just go with it. Yeah, it's easier that way. We're going to be painting Summertime Teacup today. You know me, I love my daisies and I love butterflies. I love bugs. Let's face it. Just not spiders. I like bugs. So dragonflies, bumblebees, butterflies. I love all of those things. And so I like incorporating them into things. So we're going to be doing this teacup piece, and it has this wonderful big butterfly. It's such a fun piece to paint. It's very relaxing. It's not a difficult paint, but it is a lot of fun. So I think we're going to have a great time with it today.
Why are you troubled today, Renee?
What's so special about today? This is a daily occurrence. Weekly, daily, monthly. Since around he was 2. He was just the sweetest baby. He was so easy. Slept through the night early. He was always happy and gurgling, and he was just a great baby. And then he turned 2.
Yes.
And then he was Damien.
Put the dog down, Damien.
Yes. So, and nothing has changed in 30 plus years. So we're going to paint Summertime Tea. And if you guys are ready to get started, what did I forget? Right. Giveaways. Hello. Linda pointed out.
Yep.
God love her.
Linda, on the ball.
She operates the other side of my brain. I'd be lost without her, I swear. Our giveaways today are actually kind of fun. We've got bees. There's bees. So there's a wonderful bee stencil in the giveaway. And there's some really cute little artist's pin. And a few other little goodies that we always like to tuck in. But most importantly, there's a Dynasty Stenciler stencil brush in there. It's a gorgeous wood handle, natural bristle. It's a beautiful stencil brush. And we have 3 of them to give away. So we've got 3 stencil sets with stencil brush and some fun little pins and a bunch of other goodies in there for 3 of you. So just to thank you for joining us, and then get your name on the wheel. Make sure that you, if you don't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow my Facebook page, or just simply chat in the chat and like the page like that, and share it if you want to. I really would appreciate it. That's how you get your name on it. Just interact with us. That's all you have to do. So if you guys are ready to get started on Summertime Tea.
Do you have any ladybug patterns coming up?
Yes.
Is that a yes, now I do? Or
No, it's a yes, I do.
you have a ladybug pattern in the works?
I do.
Oh.
Yeah. I have a few new ones that are coming up, so.
Deb Daniker is so ready.
Is she?
Yeah, she's
Awesome.
ready. That means I got to switch cameras,
It
don't I?
does. Yes. So this is the piece we're going to paint today. This is such a fun surface, and it's so pretty, just sitting on a windowsill. I could have called it a shelf sitter, but I actually preferred sill sitter. I thought it was a pretty name. I like them on the windowsill. Somebody actually mentioned something the other day that I thought would be pretty cool, that you could, while this is sitting on the shelf, you could have a little bottle sitting behind it with fresh daisies in it, so that the daisies come above the teacup. I think that'd be really pretty. But yeah, it's a fun piece to paint. It's not difficult. And I think you're really going to enjoy this. I love the fact that it's just a very simple color palette. Nothing extravagant, nothing over the top. 90% of us have everything we need. I used a 1/8 stencil for this, a 1/8 polka dot stencil for this one. That doesn't mean you have to. You could use a 1/4 inch polka dot if you wanted to, or the 3/8.
Or paw print.
Or a paw print. You could use whatever you want. Just some pattern back there is all you really need. So that is the great thing about this type of project, is that you can customize this to suit you. So we're going to get started on our Summertime Teacup and a fun little butterfly. So I have mine prepped, And all I did, I base coated the whole thing warm white. And then I painted the stripes lamp black and the saucer lamp black. Now in the photograph, if you've got the pattern, you might have noticed that the stand is also black. And I changed mine to white after the fact because it just looked a little heavy. So I changed it to white, and it actually works much better. It makes the piece feel a little bit lighter as far as the visual weight of it is concerned. So we're going to start with some stenciling, and I misplaced my stencil. See what happens when I tidy up? I tidy up and I can't find anything. So I go to my stash of stencils and I find a 1/8 polka dot. Of course I find the one that's filthy. And I'm going to grab a stencil brush. Now the color that I chose for this one is white, warm white. So a little bit of warm white. And I'm using a smaller stencil brush, a 1/4 inch stencil brush for this.
You bring it in closer.
Yep. Just to give myself a little more control. That's all. So I'm just going to position my stencil. I like taping mine in place. I got a new pack of tape. Trying to get it out of the container. I prefer to tape my stencils in place just so they don't shift. Just makes life a whole bunch easier. Now your stencil brush should be almost dry. So circular fashion, change directions frequently. That way you get a nice even distribution of color. And those polka dots don't have to be perfect. Polka dots and bunny leaves.
Your sound went out on Facebook? What?
Yeah, I think that's a Facebook thing.
That's a Facebook thing. Oop. Gotta open up the Facebook.
So, see, I love that. I have this thing about polka dots. I have a weakness for polka dots. There we go. Polka dots on that side. And polka dots on this side. I like doing this at this point before you start base coating anything or putting in any color, because then if you happen to go over top of something, you have the ability to touch it up beforehand. So there we go. I have polka dots on my teacup. Now, before I put my stencil away, I'm going to stencil my flutterby. Now, you could do this a couple of different ways. I went with warm white on this just for the contrast. But if you were to reverse the color patterning on this, there's no reason why you couldn't do a black butterfly with white polka dots. You can reverse it, but if you reverse it on this, you have to reverse it on that, just so that you get the contrast that you need. So I need another clean stencil brush.
No, Facebook's working.
Okay, he's just making sure. So I'm going to use black polka dots on my butterfly. Now this piece works up very quickly because it's not a very complex design. There's some pretty simple things. But simple is a good thing. Simple designs often work really, really well. The more complex designs leaves too many opportunities to mess things up. Easy, easy peasy. So just going to quickly go over the wings one more time just to make sure I've got all the... I've got a spot here that does not want to take color. There we go. Get half a dot there that's just being stubborn.
Dot was always stubborn.
I said half a dot.
Half a dot.
Half a dot. Yes, Miss Dot was stubborn. So now we have black polka dots on our flutterby. I love this. There's just something pretty about a black and white teacup. So I'm going to grab some asphaltum and turn my palette around so I don't get my arm in it. A little bit of asphaltum on my palette. I don't need a ton of it. And I need a 3/8 angle. I'm gonna grab a little Joe Sonia's. A little bit of Joe Sonia's Fast Dry Glaze. If you're wondering what is in the little bottle, this is it. Joe Sonia's Fast Dry Glaze Medium. I use this for everything. It is my floating medium. It's my thinning medium. It helps me do line work. It just helps the paint flow smoothly off the brush. Just love this stuff. So that's what we're using today. So I'm giving my brush a good soak in some clean water. And I'm going to dress my brush in a little bit of that glaze medium. Pick up a little bit of asphaltum, and then I'm going to blend it out really well. I don't want this color full strength because it's a bit much of its full strength.
Speak of the devil.
Whom?
Miss Deb Antony.
Oh, she's caffeinated.
She's caffeinated.
So on all of the white, underneath those flowers, I'm not too worried about these going over top of these leaves because I'm going to paint them a different color. That's one of the reasons I'm not too concerned. So I'm going to put a nice float of asphaltum.
What is your palette?
This is just palette paper, believe it or not. It's the brand from Michaels. Let's see if I can find it. It is... Good gravy, Marie.
How many palette papers do you got in there?
Oh, shush.
Yay.
It's this one, Artist's Loft. I haven't been able to find any Gray Matters palette recently, and I go through it quite a bit. So as long as it's got a nice smooth surface and I can work on it, and I found certainly the easiest one for me to find has been this one, and it's reasonably priced. The Michael stores usually have that 40% off coupon, or like they've had this past week, a BOGO, a buy one get one. So it makes things a little better. So I've got a graphite line here that is going to drive me insane if I don't get rid of it. Because if I float over it, I won't be able to get rid of it. And it's right here. Not sure why it's out there, but there we go. Just want to get rid of that first before I shade that handle.
Oh, Deb says more teacups on the laser today.
Oh, good. Like I said, folks, if you're looking for them, I'm waiting for my shipment, so if you need them right away, I'll have kits for you early in the week. So I'm just putting a float of asphaltum here where the handle meets the cup. And then under the bottom portion here. And I'm going to do the same thing on the back side of this handle. Just like that. I don't really worry about this being a perfect float because it doesn't really matter. As long as we get a little color on there. And then we're going to separate the bottom of the teacup, or the pedestal of the teacup, with the top of the saucer with a little float of asphaltum. This is just such a cute surface. I've had so much fun with it. There we go. I just realized I've got a tiny little spot that was supposed to be black right in there. And it didn't get painted black. So it behooves me to do it now. There we go. It's a tiny little space, but it jump out at me if I don't take care of it. So I'm just going to deepen this float over here. And I think I'm happy with that. I think I'm happy. So all that float does is just push those flowers forward so that you get a better look at them. Now the fun part about these is that I've already got one coat of white down on them. So I could put another one on to do my flowers.
I got a question from Becca Buckner.
Hi, Becca.
A friend of hers gave her some terracotta pots.
Nice.
I want to paint them.
Yep.
What do you suggest using to seal them?
If they're going to be used inside the house, then use an all-purpose sealer, but make sure when you seal them that you seal everything. So the inside edge of the drainage hole on the bottom, the inside and outside of the pot. So make sure that you've got at least 2 good coats on so that every inch of that surface is sealed. Then you can paint, and then you can seal it with whatever varnish you want to use. So if it's going to be something that's going to go outside, use a good quality exterior varnish and make sure that you cover all of those surfaces, inside and out. If any amount of moisture can get into that terracotta, it will blister that paint. So make sure every inch of it is well sealed. And a good quality all-purpose sealer will do the job.
Hey, boom.
So I'm going to base coat the centers of my flowers with a little bit of saffron yellow. I love saffron yellow. It's, more opaque diarrhea is what it is. I love that brilliant yellow color. And this bottle is nearly empty. There's so little in it, I can't even squeeze it out. I'll grab myself. Looking for a round brush. There we go. I've got a nice little number 2 round. This one's a black gold. So next Saturday, we do not have a live. I am off to go spend some time with the Village Decorative Painters in Livonia, Michigan. We're going to have a little bit of fun out there. And we're painting teacups. And a teapot. We're going to have a lot of fun with that. And we're painting some paper poppies. So we're going to enjoy ourselves with those projects next Saturday. But that doesn't mean that you guys aren't going to have something to do, because I'm filming your class this week so that we will have video for you on Saturday. We'll have a nice little recorded class. I'm going to grab some antique green. My favorite green. I love that vibrant yellow, especially over top of the white. You don't have to do much else to it. So a little bit of antique green for those leaves. One coat should do the trick. We'll get 3 other colors going over top of them, so we don't need to overdo it.
Have you ever thought about doing a class on clay pot?
Absolutely.
Just something in the future, maybe.
Yep. I have more ideas than I have time. That's my problem.
Yep.
And I had very little time this past couple of weeks to sit down and paint. I have designs sitting here waiting, but I've had very little time to sit down and paint. So I literally was teaching a class last night, and while my students were doing their work, I was working on some other things as well. So I painted 3 pieces during class last night. And I have another class tomorrow.
Miss Norma's wondering what the project is for the recorded class.
Oh, we're doing a welcome sign. The little bee one that I showed you earlier.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So it's this one. This is what we're doing in the recorded class.
Ta-da!
Ta-da! Come in and be welcome. And it's a fun one. I thoroughly enjoyed painting that. It was just so much fun. You know, some of my favorite things. You know I love sunflowers. I love sunflowers. I love bumblebees. And I have way too much fun with these dimensional things. I'm going to blame that on Deb and Karen. I'm having entirely too much fun with these dimensional things. Karen knows. She knows me too well, actually, because she's the one that sent me a little pack with 2 bees in it.
Oh, she started this.
She started it. I'm blaming it all on her.
Way to go, Karen.
Yep. Karen Beaupre at Southern Ridge Trading. She's just a tease.
Look at these.
Mm-hmm. What do you think? I think you didn't send me nearly enough. That's what I think. So, I got a box from her the other day and there was 200 bees in it. So I have lots of bees. And I've been through a lot of bees in the last little while, like close to 500 bees. So, I love bees.
I want to
Bees are
see
fun.
what happens here.
What do you mean?
Graphite, sit.
Oh, is he listening? That's hilarious.
I'm going to laugh if she...
So this is pretty much it. It's base coated. We don't really have to do a whole lot more. We have a lot of graphite lines showing, and I missed 2 spots because, you know, I'm having way too much fun, and I don't like base coating. I just realized I didn't paint the stem or the little piece underneath the flower. There we go. You can tell it's spring. Somebody's got their lawnmower running.
Already?
It's too soon.
They kill your lawn.
Yeah. We had snow a week ago. Good God.
There's still spots of snow.
Yep. The neighbor across the street there still got snow in his tree line. We're barely above 0 at night, so it's still a little cool here. Nice during the day, but at night gets a little nippy. So Miss Deb, she's constantly sending me pictures of little critters and creatures that she designs. And yesterday, she sent me one of a black cat in a pumpkin. It's too friggin' cute.
Raffin sat.
Is he sad? Why sad?
No, he sat.
Oh, he's sad.
He's not sad.
Okay. He sat.
I got his attention, apparently.
That's hilarious.
Raffin's a good boy.
So I'm going to dry this, and then we can start adding some fun details to this. One of the things I love about this is that because I've base coated the whole thing white, I don't have to go back in and re-base coat.
Had to give him a treat. Of course.
So I've thinned out a little bit of warm white, and because we've got all of this graphite, I'm just going to put a wash of warm white over everything. Just to subdue that graphite a little. That's all. Just makes it a little less noticeable. And it's all going to get hidden anyway.
How many dog trainers out there can say I made a dog sit from 1,000 miles away?
It's more than 1,000.
It's a couple thousand. Actually, there's a few of them.
So there are a number of people that are determined to see that glitter fund amped up. And I got a couple more PayPal donations this week. Added another $75 to the fund.
So it's actually around the $1,200.
$1,260.
Yeah. I think you guys are cheating.
That's not cheating. I think it's hilarious. And I think it's wonderful because our local shelter is going to get an influx of some much needed cash for a bunch of things. They've just got a bunch of animals coming from...
including one without his eyes open.
Yes.
He's so tiny.
Yeah. You get a bunch of critters at the Fredericton and the Oromocto animal shelters. They've been very busy this spring. They're taking part in a program where they bring animals from other parts of the country, from up north and from Winnipeg, areas that are just struggling to cope with the number of animals that they have. And so they're bringing animals to other provinces where they have some space. And our 2 SPCA shelters here are participating in that program. And so they've had an influx of adorable little dogs, including some puppies. So there is a fair amount of work to be done. And so the funds from this glitter fund are actually going to do some real good.
Going to help some puppers get the needed medical attention.
Yep. So yeah, I'm just, instead of base coating over all of this graphite, I'm just going to put a wash of warm white over it. By the time we're done, you'll never see those graphite lines, or they're just going to fall into the overall design. So you don't really have to worry about them.
Oh, what do you do at the back of the cup?
Oh, you know what? You can paint it on both sides.
You can have a different flower on the other
You
side.
can put a different flower on the other side. You can paint the butterfly on both sides so that you get, this showing on both sides. Yeah, you'd only see a portion of it, but that's okay. Or you could just paint it a solid color like I have. I think I painted it white. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But you didn't paint the back of the butterfly.
No, I didn't. Hush. So now, mufflers are ready. So I think this is going to be so cute. I love these. I just think they're fun. And I have...
plan on getting another dog? Or are you going to adopt one? That's going to take some time for that one.
Yeah. Yeah, hasn't made a decision.
Don't get me wrong. If somebody came by and said, hey,
I have
help.
I have a Mal that needs a home.
I have a dog. At this point,
Yeah, a dog.
if somebody comes knocking on the door and says, hey, I found this dog walking the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to take...
Well, that goes without saying that would happen regardless.
Yeah. Till I find its home or it is home.
Yeah. One of the
So,
two.
one of the two. But if somebody showed up at the door with a mal and said, this is yours. Haha.
Gimme.
Done.
Yeah. Just keep
Or
it
blue
there.
nose.
Or blue nose.
That doesn't mean one of you start flying down here with a mal pup or a pit bull pup. Don't do that.
Because that would just be mean.
Wait, what? Teresa Casper.
What'd she do?
Happy Earth Day for all the puppers.
What did she do?
$50 donation.
Oh my goodness. Terry, thank you.
You are awesome.
You are awesome. I'm seeing glitter.
Is it Earth Day?
Yes, it is.
Oh. Here we are streaming.
Mm-hmm. So I've got a little bit plantation pine. I'm going to start with these leaves. I'm going to use the plantation pine. Just put a nice little float at the base of the leaf where it joins the stem. So it's kind of a U-shaped float. Just like that. And I do the same thing with these ones down here. A little float right along the bottom. Kind of tucks in behind the...
Autocorrect and I are always in a fight. Yeah, it's that's an ongoing battle with me too. Me and autocorrect don't get along. Turning my strong-worded sentences into cute and fluffy ducks.
I have some concerns.
What? Hey, autocorrect got me the other day to the point where I was trying to spell a word.
Uh-huh.
And I actually had to look up the word that it auto-corrected to because I didn't know what the hell it was trying to say. What's that word? Is that the word? That is not the word.
Nope. So I've got a little float at the base of each one of those leaves. Now these ones down here are going to get a float down the center vein, like so, so that they get a little shape.
I hate it when autocorrect adds words I didn't type.
Yeah. There. So I have my shading. The shading on these is pretty simple. It's nothing extravagant. I'm going to pull it up to the camera so you can get a quick look.
It won't autofocus. Just to give you a heads up.
Okay, it's not going to autofocus?
No, I have it turned off because
Okay.
it's a pain in the butt.
Okay. Well, I can see it. It's pretty clear. So it's just a little shadow down the center veins and that little shadow at the base. Now, the reason I do it that way is to give it the implication that it curves a little bit. So that when I put the highlights on, we're going to accentuate all of that shading. Where did my green go? Yay! I'm using a little bit of either margarita, or you can use a little bit of matcha green. I kind of like margarita these days. Matcha green's nice, but margarita's got some zing. And that margarita is going to be our highlight color, and it's going to go at the tip of those leaves. So remember the float that we did, that U-shaped float at the base? We're going to reverse that and do it on the tip of the leaves. You don't need a lot of it, just a little. And it too is sort of a U shape. It's just to give us that height. And then highlight along the opposite side of that center vein. Just like that. There's not a ton of leaves in this piece, but the ones that we do have still need to be treated with a little definition. There we go. So, no need to overthink it. Just get those highlights in and bring that up a little closer so you can see where I've placed them. So it just gives the leaves that little bit of definition. Now, if they're still looking a little weak, say the shadows don't look sharp enough or defined enough, you can come back in with a little bit of that plantation pine and bring it right up against those highlights, and it'll give you a nice crisp shading, and it'll define the shape of these leaves really nicely. So little depth to those center veins. And look at that. Now, a couple of things that I did miss on my first pass. I forgot the shading underneath here. And then there's a little bit on that stem. It's a small stem, so just put a little bit of color in there. Don't need a ton, but just a touch. So if you have the shading at the base, and again, just underneath the top portion, and our greenery is done. Again, this isn't a complex design, so you don't have to work too hard. So I'm going to grab a little bit of orange flame. I love this color. This is one of my favorite oranges. I'm going to put a little dab. We don't need a lot of color for this, because we're going to put a nice little highlight at the forefront of these daisies right here. Nice little blush of orange. I love the boldness of this. If you don't have orange flame, any really bright orange will do the trick. Any one of them. And then a little bit in that little divot in the center, just a little. And that's going to give our flowers a nice little pop. I love the heat in the center of this with all these dark colors. These little punches of bright orange really pull your eye towards those flowers. So on our flowers, we're going to use a little bit of Bahama blue. So you're going to load that brush up. Make sure you thin this color out a little bit because we don't want it full strength. And we're going to add a float to the base of each of those petals. Remember that little U-shaped float that we used on the leaves? We're going to do something similar to these petals. the darker value towards the center, and then just sort of walk it up a little bit. So get that little bit of blue in there. It's just a nice counterpoint to that bright orange and yellow that's in the center of the flower. This just keeps this looking white. Need that little bit of blue. And we're going to use that same color to divide these petals just a little bit. Doesn't have to be a heavy float. And I will pull it closer to the camera here in a second so that you can see it a little bit better. So this is what we're looking for, is just that little division. Want to keep the tips of the petals, the highlight side, a little brighter. So it's just a little bit of blue in the center of the flower. That little bit of blue just does wonderful things for these daisies. I know I paint a lot of daisies, but I love daisies. I also love teacups and bumblebees and butterflies. There we go. And we have a daisy down here. It has to get the same treatment. Even though we're not seeing a lot of that, we still need to bring some of that blue in here. So don't forget about this one down here. It's still part of the overall design, so we need to treat it as such. There we go. Look how quickly those flowers come together. So we're going to tone these a little bit. So I'm going to pick up a little of this Jo Sonia's glaze and a very small amount of asphaltum. And I'm thinning it out considerably. Make sure that this is dry before I do this. Otherwise, I'm going to make a mess. We're going to define these petals a little bit. And we're going to tone this blue. So I've got a little bit of asphaltum in my brush. And it's a weak float. There's very little color in the brush. And you're just going to float it over top of that blue. And it just tones it a little. And it deepens it a little. Just enough. It almost gives it a slight greenish cast. Very slight. But it also helps deepen those floats just a little. So it gives the flower some nice shape. Da, da, da. I'd be in a world of hurt if they ever decided to discontinue asphaltum. I don't know that I'd be able to paint.
Yeah, you would just make your own.
That's true. No, actually, asphaltum is in most paint lines, so I would find one. It's always remarkable to me how quickly this comes together. So I'm going to take a little bit more asphaltum and do the same thing. I'm thinning it out quite heavily. I don't want this color full strength. And we're going to come in and put a little shadow and tone that orange right here. What am I missing?
They're talking about how their dogs act.
Oh.
Apparently Gracie starts shaking and crying as soon as she gets within 5 miles of the vet.
Oh no. That's so... Aw.
My Gage loves the vet. He wants to visit all the animals. They clear the waiting room so he can get him in.
Dot loved the vet too.
Dot loved the vet, yeah.
But there was no difference between going to the vet and going to the mall or going to the park.
Yeah.
As long as there was people and other dogs there, she was happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The mall, she was in working mode.
That's true. Yeah. She was in work mode at the shopping center,
But if I took her off leash in the
Oh.
mall, that would have been a different story.
Yes. Then she would have been like, hello.
Hello, hello.
She would have to go meet everybody.
Everybody needs to say hi. Yeah. Everybody needs to pet me.
Yeah. One of our neighbors here has got a little golden retriever named Gus.
I love Gus.
And he's so sweet. He's just the sweetest thing. And then there's Archie. Goldens are very popular here. So there's at least 4 or 5 on this street alone.
Yeah, there's at least 5.
Yeah. But Gus is special.
There's 4 that I know about, and I think there's a 5th
Yeah.
that I have yet to meet.
Gus is special, though. He's just so sweet. And Archie, well, he's just special.
Oh, he's something.
Yeah, Archie is quite the piece of work. He has that grin that just kills me whenever he does it.
Yeah, it's called the submissive grin.
Oh, yeah. He just, oh, he's priceless.
Yeah.
That and he sits on my feet.
Yeah.
Like 110-pound dog just sits on my feet like...
And then
hello.
there's Benny. Benny's the new addition to the street.
Yeah. To the laneway.
He's
Yeah.
5 months old.
Yeah. There's Benny. There's Gus.
There's Archie.
There's Archie.
What is that dog's name? Marie.
Yeah, Murray.
No, not Murray.
Marie?
Marie.
Okay. Okay. So now we're ready to start putting in a few little fun details. I love doing this part. I like the little details. I'm all about the little details. So we got to start doing some of the things with the leaves. Now, I like the little curlicues. So I'm going to take a little of that margarita and I'm going to mix it with a little bit of warm white just to make it a little bit more opaque. I'm not looking for a specific color. I'm looking more for its opacity. So.
Oh, this is definitely a dog neighborhood.
Oh, yeah, it is.
And a lot of them are very well behaved.
Yes. There's only a couple that are issues, but, good owners. So I like this, not a perfect outline, but a scribbly wobbly outline on my leaves. It does not have to be perfectly on the edge of the leaf. It can go off the leaf. That's fine. There we go. And I like to do the same thing to all of the leaves. So they don't have to be perfect. But they do just make the leaf a little more interesting and it softens them visually.
It makes it a whole lot easier if animals like going to the vet.
Oh, yes. It does. And you can make it a positive experience for them. It doesn't have to be a big scary event.
No.
It's like taking kids for their checkups.
Make it a positive event.
Yeah. For Dot, it was just meeting peoples.
Yeah, meeting peoples. Before her injury, it was car ride.
Yeah, car ride.
Done.
We're going where? I don't care. As long as we're going somewhere,
Yeah.
I get to go in the car.
Yeah. Car ride. Done.
I will never forget the day that Dad came home and asked her if she wanted to go for a car, and he never got the word ride out of his mouth, and she was out the front door and sitting right by the driver's side.
Open the door. Open the door. Open the door.
Yeah, it was hilarious. I guess she wants to go for a car.
Yeah. No, car ride was...
Yeah, car ride was like the best thing ever.
Yeah. Before that, it was dog park.
Yeah.
Dog park, that would get her
Yeah.
motivated and ready to go.
Yeah.
Don't care where we're going as long as I'm going somewhere.
Yep. So, I've got just little thin little lines outlining those leaves. It doesn't have to be much, just a little. So we're going to add a little more detail to these centers, and I'm going to do that with a little bit of, I need a rigger, a little bit of asphaltum. We're just going to add a few tiny little dots. Maybe if I get it to do it. There we go. I like, small is better. I like the smaller dots. It's just to add a little bit of texture and interest to the flowers. And I do like to bring them out onto the petals a little bit. I don't like a ton of it, but a little bit. Like that. And most of you have seen me paint daisies, a couple of 100 times at least, so you already know I like dippy dots. I'm going to put a few in the center, nothing major. And then we're going to repeat that with a little highlight with some of the warm white. You can use titanium white if you want to. It's not going to hurt. And again, it's just a few little dots, and I make sure that I come out onto the petals a little bit. They don't have to be perfect. They don't have to be consistent in size, but it just helps make these centers look a little airy and light, so they don't look too heavy. That's why I prefer the smaller dots.
Is there a printed pattern for the welcome sign for next Saturday?
There will be. I haven't finished typing it up, but it will be. I will have that up for you tomorrow. There'll be a printed pattern and an e-packet and a kit. I've been busy. I like it busy. Busy's good. So now that I have that center done, don't they look so much, they look very light and fun. I'm going to take my gel pen, and this is my favorite part. I like the scribbly lines thing. Doesn't matter if it's on the petals or off the petals. It can be perfect. It can be imperfect. It really doesn't matter. Don't forget to draw in that little center line. It's a squiggly line. Neatness doesn't count. Perfection is to be avoided at all costs. I have a sign in my studio that says that because it's true.
And it's not perfect.
And it's not perfect. My friend Sheila made it for me. I love it. It is perfect in its imperfection. I think that's the word. And if you've been following my Did You Knows for today, the Did You Know was about Holbein the Younger today. And his, although he's known for his painting, most notably his Tudor era paintings. His portrait of Henry VIII is perhaps one of his most recognizable pieces of work. He is believed to have done a portrait of Anne Boleyn, but most of the artworks of Anne Boleyn were destroyed after her execution. So there's very few. And one of the few portraits that are of her there were actually painted after her death. So nobody really knows how accurate they are. But yep, Holbein the Younger. German artist from the 1500s.
So for Saturday's class, I'll make it a premiere so that way you guys can chat with each other.
Yeah.
Because if I just upload it and be done with it, it's just going to be a mess of comments.
Yeah.
So I'll be ready for the premiere next Saturday.
Yep, same time.
Same time, but there will be a little chat there for the premiere.
Yep.
After that, it's just going to be comments.
Yeah. So Renee will be here in the studio taking care of business. Next weekend. I am back on the Monday, so.
Oh, that's a Uniball Signo?
Yeah, this is my Uniball Signo. It's a black gel pen, a .38. And I use it on all of the white portions of this piece. So little sketchy line. You can use stitch marks if you want to. That's entirely up to you. I'm a big fan of just the scribblies. Doesn't matter if it's continuous or perfect. More interesting if it's not. And I go back and forth over it so that I get a nice loose, soft line. I love these pens. And if you painted with me, you know I like things imperfect.
How can I make the vet visit a positive? That could be a hard one, actually. Be very difficult to find out what the dog doesn't like about the vet.
Well, even
could be the smell.
It could be the smell, but even if it's, I don't know.
It could be the whole process.
Yeah, the trip there could be made more positive.
Yeah.
What I think just whatever is going to alleviate some of their anxiety.
Yeah.
You know.
Sometimes it's the vet themselves.
Yeah.
Some of them just aren't into it as they used to be.
Yeah.
They may not be considerate of, how the dog feels. There is one vet. He's done a couple TikToks.
Yeah.
And he will not leave the dog alone until that dog is on his side.
Yeah. I've watched him. He's great.
Yeah. He'll get down on all fours and...
Yep. Sits and talks with the dog, pets the dog.
But he will not start the vet visit and actually do anything veterinary-wise until he's earned the trust of that dog.
Yeah. So we have to put a little highlight at the top of that saucer. I'm going to use a little bit of heavily thinned warm white. And I'm going to run a nice little float all the way across. Just very light. It's not a heavy float. We just want a little bit of light at the top of that saucer. Like so. Smooth it out.
Brush varnish over that pen?
No, I usually hit things with a light coat of Decawart matte spray before I varnish. Because I use so many different media, it's just become a habit. So I'm just using a liner, put a little straight highlight just in from the edge a little bit. A few dots and a straight line. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it's just a little bit.
Actually, come to think of it, I don't even know if he's a vet. I think he's a vet tech, isn't he?
I don't know.
I can't remember.
All I know is that the dogs always leave his office in a very good frame of mind. So now that we have, and you can see that this did not take very long to do, we're going to put a gold rim on the edge of our cup. And I'm going to do that with this. This is a Deco color premium paint pen. This one is a nice gold one. And I'm going to come around the edge. I'm just literally pressing onto the corner. And I put a gold border on.
It's usually shots and anal glands. You probably don't want to hear this, but learn to do the anal glands at home. Not a lot of people know how to do it. Learn how.
Yeah.
Talk to your vet. Vet has no problem teaching you. It'll save you money.
Yeah.
Because you're not making vet trips for something you can do at home.
Yeah. Not the most pleasant thing, but it can be done.
Yeah. And shots, treats, lots and lots of treats.
Yep.
Complete distraction from what's going on.
Yep.
And that's how Dot made it through all of her shots.
Yep.
Was, hey, putting a bowl of food in front of me.
Yep.
Meanwhile, she's getting like 3 needles in the back.
Yep. Bag of Zooks.
Yeah. Bag of Zooks and off you go.
Yep.
But I understand if you don't want to express your dog's anal glands. It's not pleasant. It's gross. But if they're comfortable at home,
yeah,
and
probably
you do it at home,
issues.
and you'll have fewer issues when you do go to the vet.
Yeah. So that little bit of gold at the edge finishes it really nicely. If you don't have a paint pen, you can always use just your favorite gold paint. Will work just fine.
Oh, what's for dinner?
Oh, we're having cordon bleu.
Cordon bleu. Ah, oui.
And spatzel.
Yes!
We are having spatzel.
Oh, cardiac arrest. So good.
Oh my gosh. That's a new one.
What?
The cardiac arrest thing. That was new. So these teacups come with a really great little feature, and it's this little stand. Now, it usually comes in 2 pieces. I seem to have misplaced one of them. Fortunately for me, I found the one with a slot in it. So you would have to glue these 2 pieces together, and then you put a little glue in the slot portion right in here and along here on the bottom. And so while the glue is still wet, you just pop it into, of course, helps if I put it the right way. There we go. You just pop it into the slot and set it aside to dry. Now, in the original, as I said before, I had painted this black, and then after the fact realized that it made the thing look too heavy, and so I painted it white instead, and that works much better. It just makes the teacup look a little daintier. So the stand portion is very simple to do. We got to do the butterfly. I love doing the butterfly. It's my favorite part. I love butterflies. I'm kind of obsessed with sticking stuff to stuff these days. So, and I think the cow started the whole thing. So I got the cow tag and then the pig tag and so on. And I just kind of got carried away, and now I'm sticking bumblebees and butterflies and dragonflies to everything under the sun. And I taught a class last night and again got carried away and had to literally alter the original pattern because I decided to glue a bumblebee on instead of painting it on. So I had way too much fun. And I had a great bunch of girls last night. So the butterfly gets a float of Bahama blue close to the body on the wings. I like this kind of U-shaped thing. And we're going to do that on both sides. Like so. I like that little bit of blue at the base of the, down there at the bottom of the wing. I just think that's fun. And Renee had to step out, so I'm trying to look for the chat. Where's the chat? Okay, I got the chat up. So now, well, the Facebook chat. So I'm going to put a little float right here where the wing separates. Just a little one. Just because I kind of like that dimension. And I'm going to grab my heat gun and dry this. There we are. I have a thing, Rosie, I have a thing about butterflies and polka dots. I just love butterflies with polka dots. I have no idea why. I have a minor obsession with polka dots. And then I'm going to take a little bit of warm white, very thinned, heavily thinned. I'm going to put a little float of warm white on the left side of the body of the butterfly. Just, it's a weak float, so don't kill yourself over it. It's just a very weak highlight. And then I'm going to grab my liner brush and I'm going to put a little stroke of warm white, little half comma stroke, I guess, right there. And then down the body like so. Just so that we've got a little highlight on it. And then, oops. I like, again, I have a thing about dip dots. I'm just going to put 3 little dip dots. Not with that brush. Good grief. Wasn't giving me what I needed. There. So 3 little dip dots for the highlight on the body. And then we're going to do the same thing that we did to the daisies. We're going to come in with a little bit of thin asphaltum. I like it heavily thinned so that you have control. You don't want to get this so dark. So, same places that I put all that blue, I'm going to go right over it with that heavily thinned asphaltum. Just like so. And same underneath that wing.
Everybody's wondering where Patrick is.
Patrick's on vacation.
Right.
He went to Paris for the week at Disney World.
Oh.
Disney Paris. So he's off on vacation. That's where Patrick is. I was chit-chatting with him earlier in the week. He told me he wasn't going to be here, so he said to say hello to everybody from him and Eddie. They're off vacationing. There we go. A couple of spots here I was just a little rough looking, so I'm just going to float them. So I'm going to take a little bit of warm white and I'm going to highlight the outer edges of these wings. Just going to go right over it. See, it just sort of softens the polka dots at the outside edge. Just a little.
What does the flag next to my name mean?
Who?
Nancy Rodriguez.
I don't know.
I don't know. Let's go to Facebook.
Oh, it's on Facebook?
Yeah. Oh, I don't see it. I don't see a flag next to your name.
No. Me either. I don't know. So that little bit of white at the edges of it just softens the edges of the wings a little. Kind of mutes those dots at the outer edge just a bit. So I'm going to dry this really well, and then we're going to use our gel pen in much the same way that we did with the rest of this piece. We're going to add some fun squiggly little details to the edges of these wings. Just make sure that it's good and dry before I do this. There we go.
Sometimes the only way to find out what something does is to click it.
It's not attached to the nuclear football, so it's all good.
That we know of.
That we know of. So I'm going to go around the outside edge of these wings, again with that squiggly line. And I like putting a few little details in. And again, it's very loose. And it's squiggly and it's imperfect. Just like that. Now, if you wanted to, you could spatter this with a little bit of gold. I think that would be pretty. A little bit of gold paint. You could spatter it with a little asphaltum. So if you wanted it to have a little more rustic look, you could use asphaltum. If you wanted it to have a little more upscale, distressed look, I think the gold would be really pretty. A little bit of gold.
Ah. The little flag next to their name means they're a milestone follower.
Oh, cool.
So they've been following for
a while.
X amount of months or whatever.
I don't know. Some of the stuff they put up there on Facebook now, I just catching on to like, oh, what's that? It's like the little expert tag, subject matter expert. They have that in
the
some of
shmee?
The shmee, yeah. That was new to me. I saw that next to my name on something, and I went, what the heck is this?
What's a shmee?
I'm a shmee.
There's no H. It's smee.
Smee.
Like Smeagol.
Smeagol. So, isn't that a pretty way to finish off these butterflies? I think it's so pretty. Now, you could go with a little bit of iridescent. If you wanted to, you could throw a little iridescent color in there. There's all kinds of fun things you could do with it. Now, to mount this, I've been using just a little wooden button or a small piece of MDF, just about 1/2 inch in size, and I glue it to the back of the butterfly. And then once that's dry, I decide where I'm going to put it. So if I wanted it here, I would just put a little glue there and then mount it. But you could put it wherever you like. You could put it on the stand if you wanted to, down here. As far as placement for this goes, you can put it wherever your heart desires. And I don't know where my bowl of buttons went. I have a bowl full of buttons.
Is the wood 1/8?
Yes, it is.
Yes. You're too far away from the mic. I don't think they can hear you, so.
Yeah. I had to go get my buttons.
The buttons?
Yes, the teacup is 1/8 of an inch. And I have a bowl of buttons.
According to Facebook, I have work to do.
Who said that?
Nancy Rodriguez.
Oh. So I got, these are just little wooden buttons. I got a bag full of them, dollar store type thing.
Does the butterfly come with the teacup?
Yes, the butterfly, the teacup, and the stand all come together. It is part of the kit.
Yeah. Go talk to Dip.
Yeah. So I'm just gluing a couple of these little buttons together because they're not quite a 1/8. And then I'm going to glue the buttons to the back of the butterfly, like so.
You can barely see that.
Yeah, because I'm not on the page. That's why. There we go. So I just glue them to the back like so. And then I give it a little time to dry because it is gel glue. So I'm going to hit it with a little heat. Speed the process up a little bit. just found that, I mean, I could probably have them make me these, but honestly, these little buttons from the dollar store work just fine.
I can't keep up with technology. Fair enough. They're always adding something new. They're called badges.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, and until you earn one, you don't know what they're for.
There's a couple of them. It's called an anniversary follower.
Yeah.
You've been following for X amount of years.
Yeah.
I saw on there was a couple of you that have been following my mom for about 5 years now.
I think that's called stalking, isn't it?
Anywhere else it would be.
So I just then mount the butterfly to the teacup. And as I said, you can decide where it goes.
Social media, it's called following our community.
Yeah. There we go.
Outside of that, it's called a cult.
Yeah. So the only thing I will say is this: make sure that you lay it flat until it's completely dry. Unless you're using a glue gun or crazy glue. If it's a gel glue, then it's going to take it a little bit to dry. So, and you can decide on the angle. I rather like the sharper angle of this. I just think this is a fun piece. And I've got like a dozen more designs with different flowers sitting there for these teacups because I just had, as usual, got completely carried away because that's just me. So this is your end result. So pretty. It is. It's pretty. And it'll sit on the shelf. I think it would be cute with a little tag.
We're a fun cult.
We're a fun cult. Yes, we are. So next Saturday, this is the project that you're going to be doing. Renee's going to post the video for you. As he said, he'll do it as a premiere, so you'll be able to talk amongst yourselves. You'll be able to chat with each other.
You're going to Michigan, not New York.
I know. I'm aware. So this is the piece you're going to be doing. I had so much fun doing this one. I just thought it was really super cute. And it's perfect timing because you can hang this on your front door. It's ready for the summer. And it's such a cute surface. This one's going on my front door.
We are Tracy's minions.
Minions, yes.
Get them all.
My minions.
Get them all denim overalls and goggles.
And paintbrushes.
Paintbrushes.
We'll take over the world. So Renee is going to load up the wheel.
The wheel.
With names.
The wheel?
Yep.
This one.
That one?
I think so.
Yep. And I think at some point he'll switch the camera. There we go. Didn't know if you had or not. So they're staring at the tabletop waiting for it.
I'm trying to get...
Whole bunch of names. Oh my goodness, my nose. Oh.
Which one? It's not popping up. Of course.
It's because everything else worked today. It's when the cameras work, the mics all work, something has to go wrong. Today it's the wheel. So the drawing, the giveaways for today, you get a bee stencil, because I'm kind of obsessed with bees of late. So you get a bee stencil. You've got a really nice little painter's pin in there. We get a bunch of really nice pins for some of you. So there's one of those in there. There's a fun little button from tracymoreau.net. We've got a cute little pin kit for you in there. And of course, a Dynasty stencil
brush.
You're going to love it. It's one of the beautiful natural bristle stencil brushes with a gorgeous wooden handle. It's a beautiful brush.
I got it.
Here's Connie. He finally got the wheel. Everybody's hitting the like button. Way to go, guys. Gotta love that. Like it, love it, share it. That way you get on the wheel.
Go away.
How many names are on there? I can't even read that.
Enough.
Enough? Okay. There's lots. Thank you, Debbie. You're pretty awesome too. What you doing? I keep hearing this heavy sigh from the other side of the camera.
Won't let me use
the wheel.
The wheel. Check your email.
What?
Just Microsoft sent you a code.
Of course it did.
Because it won't let me use.
Oh, Microsoft. Okay. There you go. Don't you love it when things decide you need to add your password or a code? Always at the most inopportune time.
There we go.
There
Just
we go.
so I can use the web browser.
There you go. Oh, that's ridiculous.
There we go. Y'all's ready? Why are you, what? Why is it going to Pinterest?
I don't know. Because you
What?
clicked on a Pinterest button? That was my thought for the day the other day. Yeah.
You clicked.
I was wondering why pineapples were used so extensively in architectural and design. And I thought maybe I could find something about it on Pinterest. That was a stupid mistake. Did you know that you can make
No.
cute...
No. Just no.
Yep.
All right, I got my pen ready.
It was like 5 hours of time well wasted.
I got my pen ready. I got the chat open. And here we go. Oh, God, no.
Yeah, turn that sound off. Oh, Deanna Swindlehurst, you're very welcome, sweetheart. Yes, Linnell, you know. You know. Céline Delanois. Oh, Delanois. Delanois. Beautiful name. Céline. Céline Delanois. So make sure that you go to the homepage on my website at tracymoreau.net. Click on the little speech bubble in the lower right-hand corner of the website and send us your shipping information so that we can get everything out to you as soon as possible.
Céline.
One for Céline. Oh, sorry, guys. My nose is so itchy.
And spin.
Oh, my goodness.
Judy Thacker.
Yes!
It's about time.
Judy, I have your address. I know where to send it.
Finally.
That's hilarious. Poor Judy. For those of you who haven't watched before, poor Judy has been here. I don't think she's ever missed.
I don't think so.
I don't
either.
think she has ever missed a live. She's been with us right from day one. Had never won a drawing. We even set it up one day so that she could win something. And there's like 3 people on the wheel and she still didn't win. It was just... So Judy, congratulations.
Boom.
And one more.
One more. Finally.
That's awesome.
It's about time.
It is about time.
Notice it's all capital letters.
Yep. Just trying to make the machine go, yeah, pick me. Poor Judy.
And Miss Deb Bloomfield.
Awesome. Miss Deb Bloomfield. You guys are so awesome. We do appreciate you coming to watch us every Saturday. And it just tickles us pink to be able to have some of these giveaways. And we're fortunate in the people that support us in this venture, with both Deckward at deckward.com, the Brush Guys at thebrushguy.com, and Dynasty Brush from FM Brush in New York City. without their support, we wouldn't be able to do this. And without yours, we wouldn't really have a reason to. So we really do love that you come and join us every Saturday. Next Saturday, be on the watch. We're going to be doing this one. We're shooting the video this week. It will be up. Renee will take care of posting it for you on Saturday. And as a premiere, so you'll be able to chat with each other while you work on the piece. So hopefully you will enjoy it. I will be back as usual the following Saturday. In the meantime, I'm going to be playing in somebody else's sandbox with the Village Painters in Livonia, Michigan, which is, I guess, a subdivision or a subsection of Detroit. So I'm excited about that. It's my first away class. That's kind of scary in 3 years. So we'll see how it goes. So I am looking forward to hearing your feedback about the bee. And in the meantime, we love you. Please stay safe. We'll see you again soon.
And pet your dog and your cat. Pet your animals.
Hug your animals.
Hug your animal.
Well, don't hug the dog.
Don't hug the dog.
Cuddle the dog.
Cuddle the dog.
Belly rubs.
Belly rubs.
Take care, guys.